Hello, I'm Beth Wagner, physical therapist. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a front-wheeled walker safely and properly. Now, if you're considering whether a front-wheeled walker or a rollator is best for you, please check out the other video I created that covered that topic. The link to that video is in the description below. In this video, I'm going to talk about proper fit of the walker and show you how to adjust the size. I'll also cover common accessories for a front-wheeled walker and show you two common styles of walker. Then finally, I'll show you how to properly walk using a front-wheeled walker and demonstrate a couple of variations. First, I'll talk about proper fit for a walker, including height and weight. Every mobility device has a maximum weight limit. Standard front-wheel walkers typically have a max weight limit of 300 to 350 pounds. This max weight limit is posted on a sticker somewhere on the walker, usually on the upright or one of the side posts. Heavy-duty or bariatric versions of front-wheeled walkers typically have an upper weight limit of 500 pounds. So be sure to choose the appropriate device for the weight of the individual who will be using it. One thing to consider is that heavy use or bariatric walkers are also typically larger and wider than a standard walker. Next, let's look at the height. Front-wheeled walkers are all height adjustable. It's important to look for a device with the appropriate range of height. If someone is slightly shorter than average and also lighter weight, then a pediatric walker is a great option. On the other end of the spectrum, if somebody is taller and heavier than average, then a heavy-duty or bariatric version might work well. Now, to adjust the height of the walker, look at the bottom portion of all four legs of the walker and find the silver button that sticks out of the holes here on this bottom portion of the walker leg. You want to press that button in and then pull the bottom tube down and slide it up and down to adjust the height, taller or shorter. You'll know that you found the hole when you hear the button click. Now, how do you know what the proper height is? Standing with tall posture with your feet in the middle of the walker, let your arms hang down by your side with your hands over the hand grips. With the height properly adjusted, the hand grips should hit the crease of the wrist. So this walker would be a little bit too short for me. And judging by where my hand falls on the hand grip, I think I probably need to adjust it about 2 settings. So I'll do that now. Okay, let's check the height again. Standing with tall posture in the middle of the walker, I'll rest my arms on the outside of the hand grips. And now I feel the hand grip meet my wrist right at the crease. Another way to check the height is to look for the angle of the elbow. When the walker is properly adjusted, there should be about a 20-degree angle at the elbow. So that looks about right for me. Now I want to show you 2 key features that are different between this walker and the other walker I have in my studio. And there's no right or wrong, best or worst, but it depends highly on how the device will be used. On this device, you'll notice the back legs have the plain tip. This provides great stability because of the friction between those tips and the floor. The downside is that it is not as smooth to roll forward, and it does not roll backward very well at all. In fact, it tips right away. I'll show you a fantastic accessory to change that feature on the other walker. Now, the thing I like a lot about this walker are the releases. This is called a trigger release, and the release is located just underneath the hand grip. Now, to fold this walker, all I need to do is press down on that trigger release and fold it in. Press down and fold in. Now when I want to unfold it, I just pull the sides of the walker out. Now I'll show you the other walker. You'll notice this walker has the push button releases on the front crossbar. This is a much more common style of walker. As you can probably hear in the video, These push button releases tend to get squeaky with use over time. They also can become rusty and become more stiff and harder to move. To fold this walker, I have to use my leg. So I'll lift the walker up, push the button, and then there's no way to close the walker with the same hand as I could do with the trigger release. With this walker, I have to push the button and then use my leg to actually fold the walker. And then bring my hand over, push the other release, and fold the walker. So it's much stiffer, it's more awkward, it's squeaky. I think it's much more difficult to operate for the person using the walker. On the plus side, this walker has ski glides on the rear posts. These plastic ski glides are inserted into the base of the rear tube after the tip is removed. The ski glides allow for smoother movement forward and smoother movement backward. They can be used on carpet and on hard surfaces. One thing to consider is that using the ski glides on hardwood floors and some other hard surfaces can result in scratching. If you'll be using your walker on hardwood floors, I suggest purchasing ski glide covers. Ski glide covers can be purchased as a package alone or as a combination with the ski glide tips. And these ski glide covers work by just sliding over the top of the ski glide and tucking in on the back. And this can be done while the ski glide is already on the walker, which makes it great for changing out. These are very helpful to use indoors on hardwood surfaces like tile, laminate, or hardwood. I wouldn't recommend using these outdoors because the fabric can wear out and become ripped very easily. These are a great option for indoors. There are many different accessories available to make a front-wheeled walker more handy for completing household chores and tasks. For example, many different style bags are available that can fit over the front crossbar or even over the sidebars. Additionally, trays can be purchased that fit over the top of the walker. Also, additional forearm support and alternate hand grips are available for purchase, typically through medical equipment providers. Now let's get into how to walk using a walker. First, I'll show you proper posture when standing at the walker. The best posture to reduce stress and strain on your body while still maintaining good support with the walker is for you to stand with your feet in the back half of the square made by the walker. So your heels are about in line with the rear posts. And your toes or the middle of your foot, depending on your height, are about in the middle of the space. If you stand too far forward, there's a chance that you could fall backward. And if you're standing too far back, then posture tends to be too leaned forward, and there's a chance of rolling the walker and falling forward. I'll show you that from the side. So my feet are in the back half of the walker. My heels are about even with the rear posts. Now moving up the chain, stand with tall posture, lift your chest, relax your shoulders down and back, do a little bit of a chin tuck. Now when I relax my arms by my side on the hand grips, that feels pretty comfortable. My hands are slightly forward of my thighs, but not so far forward that I'm going to start falling forward, and not behind my thighs, such that it might pull me backward. My hands are just a little bit in front of my thighs. Now, to begin moving from this tall posture, we'll initiate the movement with the walker first. So I'll slide the walker just a few inches forward, and then step with one foot and then the other foot. Slide the walker forward, step with one foot, and then the other foot. Slide the walker forward until my elbows are straight. This is a good place to stop the walker movement. If I kept sliding it, I would end up leaning forward and potentially losing my balance. So I'll slide the walker forward till my arms are straight, and then step with one foot and then the other foot. Slide the walker forward till my arms are straight, step with one foot and then the other foot. Continue this pattern, sliding the walker, stepping one foot and then the other foot. Now I'll demonstrate how to use the walker when one leg can't bear weight, when one leg has a non-weight bearing status. This could be the case after surgery following a bone fracture, or some other serious issue where one leg is not functioning and not able to bear any weight. I'll start with my right foot off the ground. Now slide the walker forward and then lean into the hand grips. Lean forward until you feel you have good pressure straight down into the walker. And then step forward with your left foot. Again, keeping your foot toward the back half of the walker. Again, slide the walker forward, lean, press down into the hand grips, and step. Slide the walker, lean, press down, and step. Now I'll take this opportunity to show you how to turn in the case of a foot being injured. Take the turns slowly. You'll start the turn with the walker. About 10 to 15 degrees is all, especially when you're first starting out, especially if you're on painkillers or otherwise not feeling great during your recovery. So I'll turn the walker about 10 degrees and pivot my foot. Turn the walker, pivot. Turn, pivot. Turn, pivot. Turn, pivot. Walker first, press down into the hand grips and step. Walker first and step. Now I'll demonstrate a gait progression where both legs can be used and we want to increase the speed a bit. Now it's possible to move the walker at the same time as taking a step if baseline strength, balance, and coordination are good enough to allow this movement at the same time. So instead of moving the walker first and then stepping, I'll move the walker at the same time as I take a step. The key is to still initiate the movement with the walker. So I'll slide the walker forward and then take a step with my right foot. Continue sliding the walker as I take a step. Notice that my arms are almost straight. They're not locked out and I'm not leaning forward, but they're straight. And the walker is slightly in front of my body, but not way in front of my body. As I step, my foot is landing in the back half of the walker. So I'm not stepping with my body way up here up front. That could lead to an imbalance and a fall backward. I want to have the walker slightly in front of my body so that my hands stay slightly in front of my hips. Walker goes first, and then I step with one foot, and I continue moving the walker smoothly, steadily, as I step, landing in the back half of the walker. Now, when walking this way and taking a turn, we don't necessarily have to stop and do that 10-degree turn like I demonstrated when standing on one leg, when one leg is non-weight bearing. To make a gradual turn, we can simply turn the walker as I step forward. I'll show you that again on this end. I simply turn the walker as I step, keeping the walker in front of my body slightly. I'm still stepping with my foot in between the walker legs. If you need to make a tighter turn, it's possible to just swivel in place and pivot your feet one at a time. Then continue walking. Again, with the ski glides on, it's much easier to turn in place because I can move the left side of the walker backward as I move the right side of the walker forward. When using a walker without the ski glides on the back, it's necessary to take a larger, wider turn. Because of the difficulty pulling one side back and pushing the other side forward to make a tight turn. So this works just fine. I just need to make a little bit of a wider turn. So that's something to consider depending on how you will be using the device, how much space you have. The last thing I want to mention is home and community safety. Be sure that your floors are free of any loose rugs, cords, or other things that could get caught up in the wheels or the back legs and end up tripping you and the walker. This wraps up this video on the proper fit and use of a front-wheeled walker. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope this information is helpful for you to safely and properly use your front-wheeled walker to the best of your ability to do the things you love to do every single day. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able. Have a fantastic day.